What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Hope you guys had a good Friday. There's been a lot today. We talked a lot about, of course, the Epstein files. We're going to keep talking about those. What's up, DJ? Todd Blanche yesterday got caught in a lie. Remember, we said Todd Blanche, we had the thing where Todd Blanche was talking to George. I can't remember his last name. Conway. There you go, Conway, the Crypt Keeper's ex-husband. And he was talking to him through that I guess a tweet, and he was saying that George Conway, you couldn't be configured as a trial lawyer. He's trying to diss him about his lawyer. He was a constitutional lawyer, but he was talking to him about his lawyering, and then he said, I didn't have this information, and then he went on to say that the family, Epstein family, hid it from him. Oh, he shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said that. They came out today saying, we didn't hide nothing from this fool. He didn't ask us for anything. The House asked us, we said, we've been participating with everybody. Anybody wants information from the Jeffrey Epstein estate, we've given them up. Through court, through whatever, we've given them up. There you go. There they are. Plus, on top of that, they had all, not a few, they had all of the files at the FBI and the DOJ. Had all the files, that more than enough. And within those files, they had a lot of this information. And the people who did the actual investigation weren't the people that went and spoke to Ghislaine Maxwell. The dude that didn't know hardly anything about this trial, the one that was sitting in a trial with Donald Trump while she was in prison, trying to save him from going to jail. But that case wasn't going to jail. That case was about owing $500-something million, which he did have to owe. They lost. But he sat there every day, Todd Blanche, with Donald Trump, both of them looking dumpy as hell. So he wasn't caught up on the Epstein case whatsoever, so he should have never been there. But nonetheless, he was there, and he had to tell George Conway off a little bit. But no, they come out and say, we had information. FBI, DOJ had information. You guys didn't ask us for anything. So he went in there blind, not really knowing too much about this case at all. Should have never been asking questions. And it makes sense because he never dove into asking any rebuttal questions. Like when she said Donald Trump, didn't even he was nice and didn't see him that much. I don't even know he was in the house. He could have said, well, have you heard anybody say that he was in the house? Were there any emails with him saying that was you were seen or given that said he was in the house? Didn't go any further. If you want my personal opinion, it's not facts. I think Todd Blanche knew. I think Todd Blanche was heavily learned on what the hell it was. That's how he knew what questions to ask and what questions not to ask. He had to know he couldn't offer up something that could open up a can of worms that could have made it 10 times worse. He had to have known what she knew. The information that was there for her, for him to only ask the questions in which he only wanted answers for. And he would lead with those questions to begin with. He would tell her what he wanted to hear, basically. You wouldn't have known that, would you? No, I wouldn't have known that. That type of leading type of shit. That's what he did in a lot of his deposition. And again, why were you there? She already went through court. She already went through trial. She already been convicted. She didn't want to speak then. If she wanted to speak, write a tell-all book when you get out. But why would you care to go talk to her after all this? Only reason he went there was to find out, was she going to keep her mouth shut? And if so, Donald Trump was going to give her gifts. Because other than that, ask yourself, why are you going to talk to a criminal that's going to be in there for 20 years? Why are you giving that person perks? They haven't spoke on you just yet. But there was rumor that she was trying to get out of jail by throwing Donald Trump under the bus with the information she had. And Biden and his team Merrick Garland wasn't biting. She tried to get out of jail free by going to Merrick Garland and say, I got some shit on Trump. And they held their hands up. Nah, we ain't taking it. That was the story that one of her jailmates that she was in jail with, that she opened her mouth to and told. And that person, I guess, was trying to bargain to get them some time off. Kind of strange how that was known, I guess, while Donald Trump was running for office. As soon as he gets into office, she's one of the first people that he decides to try and help. Never mind the fact that she's in so many pictures with him. And the fact that Jeffrey Epstein said often that he and Donald Trump shared girls. So my question I would have you, Ghislaine Maxwell, ever had a relationship or a sexual relationship with Donald Trump? Because Epstein was known to share his women, girlfriends and so forth, with other men. So were you ever intimate with Donald Trump? I mean, I'm serious. These questions need to be asked. Only reason why is because this lady's lying, Donald Trump is lying, and we're trying to catch them in their lies. And to call these questions like he did and don't even give her no kind of stress. And this woman's trying to get out of jail. She has never admitted to doing it. She has never had any kind of remorse. Now, how do you get out of shit without any remorse? You got to have leverage on people. Remember I told you the way black people got their freedom was Frederick Douglass had leverage on Abraham Lincoln. That's the way we became free. So she's got leverage on Donald Trump. The question is, what is it? And ain't no question about it, because the only person who can get this woman to be treated this way would be the president. Ain't nobody, Pam Bondi ain't trying to do nothing favors for this woman. There's nobody else that can do these favors. So much so that the warden of this prison is trying to help her, knowing that this woman raped children. Come on now. Come on. So somewhere in that process, you got Todd Blanche out here trying to gaslight people like, oh, the family never gave me any video, so I didn't have that. So there's no way I could ask those questions. Turns out he did. He had access to it, whether he chose it or not. The Epstein's estate responds to Todd Blanche because he said that since Mr. Epstein's death, to the extent the Department of Justice sought materials from the estate, we have cooperated and provided responsive materials. We have not received any requests from the Department of Justice in recent years. It is inaccurate to assert that the estate has hidden anything. So Todd Blanche, in his little tweet trying to cover his own ass, lied. I don't see how these people have any kind of capital at all. I mean, like factual capital. Like, if you lying about the simplest of things, then you know you would lie about the big things. And this shit that's going on with Epstein is gigantic. So there's no reason for us to believe of you telling any truths whatsoever, unless you have actual facts, some receipts. They don't deal in receipts. They deal in lies and propaganda. But that's what we got from this man. We got information that was flawed, and he didn't say anything else about it, I don't think, today. But they kind of smacked it down out the air and said, nah, you ain't gonna put that shit on us. No way, no how. We gave everything they asked for, we gave it. It was your non-due diligence. It was your non-research that took you there based off of what we know. But like I said, my own personal belief, I think he knew. He knew exactly what to ask her to get the answers he needed for Donald Trump as his lawyer, not as the American people. The American people don't want to talk to her. Why do we need to talk to her? There was nothing to gain from that. She's in jail. She's guilty. Done deal. Why do we need to speak to her? Why would the government need to speak to her after we don't charge her, put her in jail, she's there? We wouldn't. It's leverage that she's using to make Donald Trump. Donald Trump's her puppet. No matter what we feel, she's in control of Donald Trump. And no matter what the American people want, she's going to get what she wants. Because Donald Trump don't want them to know all the shit he did. And for him to be doing this, y'all, think about this for a second. Excuse me. There are notes in these emails, as you learn more and more each day, that Jeffrey Epstein says that Donald Trump is way worse than him. Donald Trump is way worse than him. Him and his brother having conversations, Epstein and his brother, having conversations about what type of person Donald Trump is. Would you trust this man around your daughters? Now, you do remember the lady who was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. She dated him for a little bit. And the story in which he would always talk about Donald Trump, always talk about Donald Trump. And it matches up because in his house, pictures of Donald Trump everywhere. Like I said, personally, not factually, just my own personal beliefs, Donald Trump and him were boyfriend and boyfriend. Because I'm telling you right now, I love my homies. I'm cool with them. I got a homie I've been cool with since I was in like sixth grade, I believe. We were 12. Me and him are tight. I ain't got nothing but a couple pictures in my phone with visiting him like a couple years back, and it's still in my phone. I ain't got no pictures all up on my wall. That's a pain. You know what I'm saying? That's my uncle, my sister. I ain't got no random dudes just sitting around on my walls, man. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but tell me, how many of your homie can walk into your house and be like, oh, there I am, by yourself, not with him, just by yourself. Oh, there go my homie. There go my homie over there. Yeah, my homie. Oh, I got him on my mug. I got a tattoo of him on my shoulder. No, that shit don't happen, bro. That don't happen unless you got some love, and I ain't talking about no regular love. I'm talking some like slob the knob love to be able to do some shit like that. There's no way in hell. So for me personally, I believe they were boyfriend and boyfriend. You can't have all those pictures around just random and you talking about him 24/7. No, that ain't a thing. That ain't a thing. I got celebrity friends that you guys know. I would never ever. I don't have a picture of them whatsoever, and they're celebrities. So yeah, no, there's something up with that. What's up, Nina? I see you. What's up, DJ? I see you. Mike, Vera, Darlene. There's something up with that. But getting on with it, he had pictures all over his house with this dude. They were always together. Back in the day, they said they were just inseparable. You see these dudes always together. Even the speaker now, his speaker, Levitt or whatever, she's like, well, they were friends back in the day, type of thing, whatever. You know, they both were in Palm Beach, Florida, whatever, and they kind of ran into each other. She tried to make it seem like they just met each other every once in a while. If that's the case, there are other people in Palm Beach. We don't have a bunch of pictures with him and the other people in Palm Beach. I mean, come on, y'all. It doesn't take a genius to realize that these dudes were more than just friends. They were partners in crime. When you go back to that letter, it's starting to get better and better understanding of that letter that he wrote, or that birthday card that he wrote. And I want people to understand something. I mean, Donald Trump likes women with big boobs. He says it. He talks about it. When he talked about grabbing women by their body parts, stuff like that, you know, he talked about women. He liked women with big boobs. The drawing in which he drew was a little boob person. The person he drew, I believe, was a teen. It looked like a little person. It didn't look like it was a grown-ass woman, whole full body type of thing. It didn't. None whatsoever. Part of the reason, on top of that, it says something about wonderful secrets, and that him and Jeffrey Epstein they had so much in common. Now, Donald Trump doesn't do anything with finance. He's not a financier, and this is the dude who's trying to pretend like he was, but he really wasn't. So They both dealt with modeling. Wexner, how you say his name, Wexler, I think it believes, the dude who had Victoria's Secret. I just saw. Now, I don't know. I can't validate this, but I seen a young man, a young white guy, who is spilling his heart out and saying that Jeffrey Epstein and Wexner, same dude who owned Victoria's Secret, that got Jeffrey Epstein in this, said that he was brought into this through Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein. So he was saying there's more than girls that's being trafficked in this. Young boys were being trafficked in this too. We haven't heard that until this young man spoke up. So that's his story. I haven't delved into his story, but it's his to tell. I just ran across it today. And so you start to look into the fact that in my heart of hearts, I knew it had to be more than girls. I mean, why stop at girls? Because these people were trafficking them. Some of these rich people wanted boys. So I figured it was there. It's just men don't come out to say shit. So he came out. These young ladies, I'm going to tell y'all, young ladies, these girls, I'm gonna tell y'all, it sickens me, but you got to think about what these Republicans, and I ain't saying all of them like this, not at all, but I'm saying I haven't heard any of them negate these people who have these horrible ideologies toward things like this. Now, I know they were talking about, get Jeffrey Epstein. They was talking about it over and over again because they thought it was all Democrats. They never pointed to a Republican. They always was like Democrat, 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 right? When it started leaning toward Republican and Donald Trump's name is all over it, I want y'all to understand something. In these emails thus far, Donald Trump's name is more than just a little bit in these emails. Donald Trump's name, this is how many emails are total. There are a total of 2,324 email threads that they have gone through. And this is the Wall Street Journal. They've gone through, right? I don't know how many can complete total, but out of the ones they have, and they seem like they've gone through the entire thread of emails that we have in this particular batch, 2,324. Do you know that Donald Trump's name is mentioned 1,670 times? Well over half. Well over half. Right? At least I believe that's it. That's right. That's 32. Yeah, 32. Yes, well over half. That's how many? Donald Trump is mentioned 1,600 times out of 2,300 emails. You telling me y'all ain't friends and that you didn't have a conversation? On top of that, Donald Trump, according to Jeffrey Epstein in his email thread, says that he went and spent Thanksgiving with Donald Trump in 2017 when he was president. Epstein was convicted of having quote unquote sex or whatever it is with a minor, like a prostitution. It was something like that. I forgot the exact term, but it made it seem like he was a John and got caught up with a young one, and so therefore it's really not his fault. But he got to go to jail anyway, just a little bit. And he had weekend at Bernie's like a shit, like weekend vacation. He wasn't dead, but he is now. I guess you can say he's like forever weekend at Bernie's. But yeah, it says Epstein claimed he spent Thanksgiving in 2017. Donald Trump said he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. Jeffrey Epstein says, I never was a member of Mar-a-Lago. I just got special treatments. I get to come there when I want. I never paid this man a dime to go there. I wasn't a part of it. So how can you kick somebody out of something they never was a member to? I just had free reign because me and him was like this. But Donald Trump's like, oh, we were kind of cool. Yeah, really? Everybody else paying 100,000 a month or whatever the hell it is, and my man ain't paying shit. Sounds like you're a little bit more than just friends. But hey, that's what you say. Still, that right there lets you know. 2017, he was at his invited for Thanksgiving to his Mar-a-Lago. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. He's lying about not being cool. Me and him have never been friends. Have been friends for a long time. It was like way back, way back, way back. We was only friends like 10 years. Epstein was like 15. And Donald Trump always lies. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that's so messed up, yo. I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. I don't like Jeffrey Epstein. But I believe him over Donald Trump. Why? Because Donald Trump has done nothing but lie to the American people. Why would you start believing him now? Why? This is a dead man trying to get out the information to get the man who is probably more treacherous than the dead man. And I know people, it's hard to believe the dude who was a president, the president again, is this bad. He's worse than Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, yeah, I truly believe that. I do. I think he was a major part of this entire thing. Donald Trump and him were running this thing. How else would he know Donald Trump's finances? He wasn't a CPA. Only we would know his finances because he's getting his money through what we're doing. And I got this much, and he goes out and spends his and does stupid, extravagant shit. I just collect my money and I do all the shit, the legal shit that I do. I buy an island. Everything I get appreciates. Everything he gets depreciates. So it's like, I know I got more money than him. I'm sure he calculated that up and realized there's no way he's got $40 million. And he didn't. And that was pertaining to the house that he bought out from under Jeffrey Epstein. So I trust just these emails over Donald Trump by far. Because again, what purpose were they making these emails? They didn't expect him to get out. They didn't expose this while he was alive. They were just having conversations about it because they were pissed off certain things were going. So if anything, the candor of someone speaking to somebody who else is doing the same type of dirt, why would they be lying to each other? Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, why would they be lying to one another about what Donald Trump is doing? Him saying that he's the only dog that hasn't barked. And she said, I was thinking about that. Why would they be lying about this? They had no idea he was going to be dead. They had no idea they were going to be caught. Again, they thought they got free reign because why? Because in that case they had before, that case said that anybody even dealing with the issues of what Jeffrey Epstein was doing can't be charged. How the hell Acosta got that? I have no idea. Oh, you can charge me and all I do is have to go to jail for the weekend. Oh, and all these other people that were a part of my whole pedophile ring, you can't charge them. Oh, I'll sign off on that. Who does that shit? That's like the worst episode of Law and Order you ever heard. I have never heard, even a TV show can't write that crap. It's insane, right? The disposable ego. I heard that. I read. I was looking for it. I was gonna try and have it today, but I got it. I saw it online, but I was trying to get it. I downloaded all the files off the government web, the .gov, and I just haven't found it yet in the .gov document. So I wasn't gonna just say straight out. But yeah. This is, again, I haven't validated this. I just saw an email and I haven't validated it. I'm going to look through the emails this weekend and try and find it. People told me about it. And some credible people, like the Midas Touch and different other things, they've talked about it. So I was like, okay, but I want to see it for myself. In it, it says that, I think it's Jeffrey Epstein said that, and he was talking to his brother or somebody like that, or his brother was talking to him and said something to the effect of, that 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 Donald Trump blew Bubba, and I knew from back in the day. I'm that old, okay? I call it seasoned. I'm that seasoned to know that Bill Clinton used to be called Bubba. I knew that 100%. And so when I said and I heard it, I said he blew Bubba. I'm like, wait, what are they talking about? So I was trying to read. Is this out of context? What's it all about? And that's what they were talking about. Again, why would they say these things when they know they're not being watched? These are just regular ass conversations, like talking once amongst one another. I ain't telling nobody else. Now I can understand if they came out and said, he blew him, trying to get him in trouble or something. No, they were just talking amongst themselves, like things they knew. It wasn't like they knew this shit was going to go out. They weren't leaking this information. This information was in his home, not to be shown to anybody else. So that's why I believe most of it is true, because again, they're going back and forth about things. And here's one thing you also know that you'll realize too, is that in these, you know how we talk, human beings, like if you're talking to your boy and homie or whatever it may be, or you're talking to your girlfriend or whatever it may be, right? When you don't know something personally, right? You say, I heard. Man, the homie, what's his name? Davey. Yeah, Davey, the homie told me this. And he told me your boy blew your boy. That's crazy. Or she told me this, and I heard this through the grapevine. No, that's why he blew Bubba. It's not inquisitive. It's not somebody told me. It is like them talking about shit, and the other one didn't say, he did? Really? I didn't know. It's like they were talking like this is what type of person he is to each other. It wasn't a gossipy thing. It was just saying it. That's why I have more of a belief in it, because that shit just, when you talking to your homie, that you don't, or even your friend or your brother, you talking there's a difference between you guys talking about stuff you don't know about. You say, I heard it. My man told me this, whatever. When you talk from facts, like, yeah, he did old girl like that, man. That was tripped out. You know what he did to old girl. So that's why I believe this. I'm still reading. I'm still finding it in the documents. But that's why it's more believable, because these people aren't talking in like possibly, could be, it's probably. No, they're literally saying these things happen. These things happen. And the person receiving that information is not negating it like, dude, you tripping. He ain't do nothing like that. Nothing like that. It is literally riding along with it. And that's a bit much. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit much not to be. It could be still false, but it's a bit much. It leans toward true in my mind. But like I said, I ain't got no problem with that thing. Like, I don't deal with no kink shaming at all. My problem is, I'd rather you be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? Than lie about it. And if you're gonna, you gotta, again, this is behind the scenes what they've done. But for you to come out and tell other people, and then hate on gay and trans people, and you out here blowing people, come on, man. That's just messed up. That's just messed up. Do all what you got to do, but when you can't come out, but you're gonna try and out other people and make laws or things to kind of harm them, I'm like, nah, bro. And you back here slobbing knobs, man. Don't even start. That's why I leave people's stuff alone. You do what you want to do in your own home. Do whatever. I ain't got nothing to do with it. It's your world. Do what you got to do. But if I'm gonna go off on somebody, man, I can't stand this, that, and I'm over here doing dirt. Oh yeah. Once you catch me, you got all the right to talk shit about me. That's the way I feel about it. Everybody ain't like me, but that's what I feel about it. So he out here doing something strange for a little change, and then. A while back ago, if you've been following me for a minute, remember I showed you a photograph of when they mentioned that Donald Trump was all over this dude's home, and they had a photograph. They had a photograph of a desk of some sort, right? Drawer, desk, or whatever it is, and there was a bunch of photographs, and in those photographs, there was somebody like an Arab person. Had on all the white stuff and the little, I don't know what you call it. I'm not going to disrespect their culture. but it looks like an Arab person in their garb. It was Donald Trump and Donald Trump, uh, his wife. Oh, that video of Donald Trump, his wife, and then Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. But in his picture on his little credenza, whatever it was just Donald Trump, Melania Trump, and him. He cut Ghislaine Maxwell out of it on that desk. Right behind Donald Trump was Steve Bannon and somebody else, and I think in him, I believe. Turns out him and Steve Bannon were cool, Jeffrey Epstein. So much so that Steve Bannon, this is why Donald Trump was president the first time around 2018. Steve Bannon wanted to get rid of a few people that worked in Donald Trump's circle. And why is it that Steve Bannon thought that Donald Trump would listen to Jeffrey Epstein when I thought they weren't cool? Why would that be? I'm not getting it. How is that? This is actually what 2018. Donald Trump was president, right? Right before he fucked up the country. 2018. We didn't have 2000. It was a year before the COVID vaccine. I thought they weren't cool, but Steve Bannon's asking, get rid of Powell, much more important than Syria, Mattis, Jared, and Ivanka need to go. He said, Mnuchin is okay. He's asking Jeffrey Epstein to get rid of people, even Donald Trump's kids. Think about, like I said, often you got to really think about the way somebody talks to somebody. I wouldn't talk to you about something you don't know or have any kind of power over. I wouldn't try and get $1 million out of you if you living on the street and you ain't got no money. I ain't gonna be walking up to you and be like, hey, you know, man, let me get $1 million. I'm like, dude, you over here curb napping and you talking about million. Man, I ain't got that. What are you talking about? There's no reason for me to ask you of something that you have no way and no power to do it. You got Steve Bannon at this time, one of Donald Trump's right-hand men, helped him get into the presidency. He was able to talk to Donald Trump and get a lot of shit done. But he thought, even with his powers of being in the office with Donald Trump, and he may have recently got kicked out this time. I'm not sure when he got kicked out. I didn't research that part. But he was thick with Donald Trump. This being Steve Bannon, helped him get in, right? Steve Bannon, with his political power with Donald Trump, didn't think that he could get Donald Trump to get rid of his own kids and Jared. But he thought that Jeffrey Epstein could? So you got to read between the lines on some of this shit. Why would you think that Jeffrey Epstein had that kind of power with Donald Trump? You would have to have known what kind of relationship they had. Remind you, these people have known each other since they were kids. Donald Trump has been around like Steve Bannon, I'm trying to remember the other dude who helped start January 6th, and the Proud Boys, Roger Stone, been together since they were in their 20s. So there's a reason why these people all know what Donald Trump is capable of, what is Jeffrey Epstein capable of. And they've been around him all this time, and they went to Jeffrey Epstein to tame Donald Trump. They would have to have known some inside secret stuff to do that. You wouldn't just go to this dude not knowing that. You're like, what can I do? Me and him ain't cool. I thought he kicked you out of Mar-a-Lago, and he thought you was weird and didn't like you. He knew you was a pedophile, according to the speaker, not the Speaker of the House, but his press conference. That lady said that he, back in the day, found he was stealing girls and that he was a pedophile and he wouldn't have anything to do with him. She ratted on Donald Trump because, again, Donald Trump said he didn't know he was a pedophile. But now he's saying that he stole my girls. And she said, Caroline Levitt, he knew he was a pedophile. So in 2008, you knew He before 2008, 2000 something like that, 3, whatever, you knew he was a pedophile. And now you're saying you just didn't know because she just outed you and said you knew. It's crazy how these people are flip flopping all over the place, and it's because all this heat is coming all at once, and they can't keep their lies straight. Like I said, that's what I don't like liars. You can't keep your lies straight. Donald Trump has not had to keep his lies straight. He has always been able to say 15 different things, and his MAGA people just listen and be like, okay, you just mad at Trump. You got Trump's derangement syndrome. No, I got people who lie derangement syndrome. You keep lying, I'm pissed off about it. And Donald Trump lies, and most of the time without impunity or with impunity. So I'm trying to figure out, when are these people going to just up and turn on him? Now, I've seen some stuff happen, but I'm like, this dude has been lying through his teeth. Steve Bannon is literally asking his ex-friend, by this time, according to Donald Trump, to do him favors. Now, been some crazy things. Let's face it, Grindr was born by these pedals, right? I don't know who created Grindr. I really want to look that up. What's up, Mike? Appreciate it. Sent emails to himself and Maxwell about Trump and kept it. Mrs. Darlene. I don't know his psychology, what he would do. I don't know why he would do these things. But for me, personally, I think he was pissed off that he got it. That 2008 situation was, something that he probably thought Donald Trump had something to do with. This 2019, I know he knew he did something with that. But I don't know. I mean, it's like they've been having, relationship issues. And every once in a while, you'll hear Donald Trump say friendship, and then he'll say relationship. My relationship with him, again, I got friends and homies. That's a friendship. We don't really have a relationship. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about it like that. Again, most guys, and especially they think Donald Trump's an alpha guy, Mr. Bone Spurs himself. Most alpha guys won't talk about each other in a situation that I got a relationship with my homie. Relationship, that's your friend, right? You got a friendship with him. We're talking about relationship. Every once in a while, he'll drop and say relationship. And it just, again, some people speak differently. I get it. But it just throws me off a little bit when he does it. And I'm like, It kind of makes something rises up in my head. Like, there's too many signs that Donald Trump is either gay or trans or bi. And it's totally fine. But not when you talk shit about people who are gay or bi. That's when it's not fine. When you cause pain or hurt to them, that I don't care. That's when it's not fine. I don't care if you are part of that group. It's not fine. And the reason why I said it again, one of his favorite songs is a gay group. And I like that music too, but it's not like I'm turning every song I'm turning it on YMCA, and it's just his gig. And you see him do his dance. It's his thing. And he grew up in that era. And most people know there are some songs, people that you listen to that Like if you're a huge like Cher fan back in a certain day, people knew. If you was like all into certain different groups, people knew. And it's fine. But again, there's too many signs with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, and to find out that Jeffrey Epstein and he was with Wexner, and you ask yourself, how did he become wealthy? And just by following the steps. And again, these aren't facts. These are my opinions here. Following the steps and listening to some of these people, Wexner, and I always said, how did Jeffrey Epstein get all this money? How did Wexner, and I keep messing his name up as Wexner or Wexler, whatever it is. He's the guy who gave Jeffrey Epstein the rights to his finances, gave him the deed of basically to the mansion in which he did a lot of this dirt. He's the one who gave this young kid access to all of that. And to me, I'm like, you just don't give some kid that's not a family or blood or whatever, and this dude just rolls into your life. Y'all in a relationship. There's no way in hell you giving this man billions of dollars of your life, all your life's work, you're going to give him access to your cash? so that he can go out and spend whatever he wants? Nah, either you're in a relationship or you're being bribed like heavily. And even then, even if you're being bribed heavily, I'm sorry. If you're a billionaire and this one dude sitting here saying, I'm gonna bribe you because you did this to me and you did this to girls or little kids or whatever the fuck he did, it's easier to get rid of him than to follow down this road of giving him everything you got. It's easier to cap him than to give him your life's worth. It just doesn't make any sense that this dude gave him everything. So these things are kind of like, again, these are questions. If I was a detective, I would be asking, how did this all come about? That should be already out in some kind of case or another, because his finances are weird as to like, what was he doing? And all the money coming in doesn't stop because he died. This money was still transacting. But the point is, it probably stopped because he was retroactive. These people in these rings are like, oh, cut the money off, cut the money off. And that right there should have been a red flag to the FBI, CIA, DOJ. All of that should have been a red flag. This money just stopped as soon as he died. They were a part of the whole thing. Follow that trail. We still haven't heard anything. The weird thing about this, I believe that people are so huge, they ain't trying to F with them. It's almost to say in way it feels, and I don't know if it's true or not, that our government is scared of whomever the hell that's doing this. They're scared of their lives. Because I don't understand how you've had this for years and you haven't found one. But you can, in a matter of days and shit, you come together and put Pete Hegseth ahead of the military, and we bomb in now, what, 67, almost 7 or 70-something people, and we haven't found 1 ounce of drugs, or at least produced it. But you've had this for years and you can't find one other person other than Ghislaine Maxwell that did this? I don't believe it. You can't make me believe that shit. They're afraid of that individual, that group of people. And I don't know if it's mafia related. I don't know what it is, but they are afraid to get these people. And these are the people, and I don't know about Donald Trump. I think he's afraid of being exposed. But here's the thing that got me today. I mean, I was heated when I heard this. I mean, heated. But, and it reminded me of the video I told you guys before. So I'm going to play this video first, and then I'm going to play the other one that it reminded me of afterwards. But the first video of what happened here recently, I knew that some MAGA, at some point in time when Donald Trump starts feeling the heat and we start getting closer to him, that some of these MAGA people who have been getting paid millions of dollars to push the propaganda for Donald Trump and MAGA, we're going to try and shift this narrative of being a pedophile, of doing something. I didn't know what it was going to be, but you won't believe what it turned out to be. I mean, and I got a personal story. It didn't happen to me, but the conversation happened to me. I'll explain that one too. But we're going to give it to you right now. Megyn Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, some of the most odd shit I've ever heard in my life. Look at DJ already knowing.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile.
Stop the fucking train. This woman just validated a ghost. And then after validating said ghost, said this ghost is credible. Casper over here is credible as fuck. So we're going to validate a ghost and then all of a sudden give you what Casper just said as if it's valid coming through elongated head woman. Really? Okay. But not a pedophile. How is she explaining this one away?
This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
Stop. This heifer just said, not a pedophile, then proceeded to say that he liked the barely legal girls. Now, I know I'm older, and I ain't into the probably like the new corn that's out there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like out there. Back in the day, you go out to the VHS place and you back there in the 24 and over, the 18 and over, whatever. Just I don't want that VHS. Nah, that ain't good. Debbie does what? Nah, that okay. I remember back in the day, the barely legal was 18. I mean, they were 18 and they looked young, but they were 18. There was no barely legal at 15. Highly illegal is what that's called. Pedophilia is what that's called. This heifer brought out 15 as if that's a validation for a young adult. CPS, you need to check out if this heifer got kids 15. Because if they do, take them the fuck up out that house. Take them the fuck up out that house. This woman literally thinks a 15-year-old. And these kids are literally, they were anywhere between, the youngest age was 13, the one that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein supposedly raped together. She was 13 at the time. 13 at the time. How old was she when she first got into this thing with them? Was she 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? We don't know. But this was the event in which she got raped by both of them at the same time, and she made a case about it when she was an adult. And this heifer right here just said 15 is barely legal. Where? In Europe? Sure as fuck in the United States. I mean, it may be some weird ass, backward ass southern states that come on with this bullshit that think they back in Little House on the Prairie days, but that shit's been gone since we learned the brain fucking works. And they're too young to figure shit out. But let's listen to this heifer continue.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he.
This heifer said 8-year-olds. The fuck? So you a pedophile when it's 8? So when it's 9, or is it a double digit thing for you? I'm trying to figure out what this heifer thinks. You literally think 15 is barely legal. So what's 14? What's 13? Let me keep going down until you tell me it's pedophilia. 11, 10, 9. Oh, 8's your number. CPS, if she got kids, take them away. Nieces and nephews, don't stay over her house. Do not stay at this trick's house. No way, no how. The friends she got? Oh no. Oh no. How in the hell did a grown ass woman, old blockhead ass, gonna sit here and literally tell you that a 8-year-old is pedophilia, but 15, that's barely legal? What century is this bitch living in? I mean, really, you don't watch too many of those damn, something Abbey? You don't watch too many of them shits. Y'all stuck in Shakespeare. Wherefore art thou pedophile? The fuck is this heifer crazy?
He liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby.
Wait. They were 15 and they looked younger than 15. But if you pass by, they look legal. What the fuck was that? What kind of math? I mean, how she got a show, yo? This lady literally said they look like He like young girls that look younger than they actually were. So they're 15 and they looked 8. And if you pass by, you thought they looked like they were 15. I'm stunned. I mean, yo, we are devolving, yo. What is up with this shit? I'm not, I mean, I have not watched one of that one actor, was he director, white director, Woody Allen. I have never watched one of his movies that I knew in his movies. I have never watched on purpose a Woody Allen movie. When I found out that he was in a relationship with a girl that he raised since she was a baby, that really grossed me the fuck out. Roman Polanski, I don't know how he got back into the state. 13-year-old, grown ass man. She's talking about little kids. She don't tell you the man's age. That man was in his 50s doing this to 15-year-old girls. 50 and 15. And this chick is saying, you know, it's barely legal, blah, 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 blah. You act as if the kid is like 18 dating a 15-year-old and there's only a 3-year difference. It's still illegal though. And she's acting like, hey, you know, she can make her own decision. Like she Laura Ingalls or some shit. Like this shit is 1843. We've evolved, blockhead lady. We've evolved. I don't know where the fuck you bringing this shit back. Make America great again does not mean make America pedophiles again. No. That shit was back in the past. We don't want it back. We love our kids. We're not trying to sell them off. If you want that culture, go back to caveman days. But it's sure as fuck in America, and we don't want to go back there. But this heifer just, boy, I'm sorry. I'll keep going.
And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard...
She believed that for years, yo. All this time we've been calling this man a pedophile. This heifer for years have been saying, hey, it wasn't an 8-year-old. It was 15. He ain't a pedophile. Listen.
From Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material.
She's like, forgive me. Forgive you for that part, the kiddie porn part. Don't forgive you for the fact that you allow pedophiles to have sex with 15-year-old girls and say it's barely legal. You don't have a pure definition of pedophilia. Don't forgive you for that, but forgive you for saying kiddie porn.
His computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore.
She don't trust Pam Bondi. I don't on every Epstein stuff, but she trusts her friend. Let's take this back a little bit. Let's take this back a little bit. Let's take this back a little bit. You trust your friend. Your friend, it must be a pedophile. Reason why. He got to check this out real quick. Me and you, let's say we talking, just me and you. One of us, just pick one of yourselves and just say me and you talking. We talking about stuff, and I say, you know what, man? Jeffrey Epstein or a girl, whatever it is. I'm saying, you know what, person? Jeffrey Epstein ain't no pedophile, man. Those girls are barely legal. They're only about 15 years old. As a grown-ass person, me and you talking, at that point, do not flags go up in your head. Like, did this fool just say 15 was legal, barely legal? In what country does this fool believe? That's the dialogue that's running in my head. I don't care if you were the homie and you sitting there telling me this, like, yeah, he ain't a pedophile. Why you say that? They, you know, were they over 21? Type of thing? No, they were 15, bro. That's just barely legal. I'm like, Negro, step away from me. Step away from me, man. I don't want nothing near you. I don't want to smell like the 15-year-old that you was just talking to. Get the fuck away from me. But she took it in and said, 15 is barely legal. Okay, I get it. And for years, she never added 1+1 and came up with pedophile. She came up with 1+1 equals barely legal. Years. This heifer thought about it.
Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say I was I was under 10, I was under 14 when I first came within his purview.
There was a 13-year-old girl filed a case in court. She wasn't 13 when it happened, but it happened when she was 13, and it was brutal. She even had the details of how it happened. You can actually go read it. 13. Said they beat her ass and had relations with her, raped her. And you're saying there was nobody at 10 or 8 or 13 or 14. Her number is 14. Just by hearing that, her number is 14. Well, at 14, there's nobody that said that they did it at 14. Yes, there was. At the exact press conference, two of the girls actually said they were 14 years old. Women now, but they were 14 years. Two of them mentioned they were 14. Either this woman doesn't turn her brain on when she hears bad shit about Trump and just shuts off, like in between this area, from in between these two spots, that shit just blocks out whenever it's Trump, 14. She don't hear it. Comes back up, 17. I don't know how you turn your brain off, but the shit literally is out there to read. And you were supposedly a journalist for Fox for fucking ever. And now you're independent and just as fucking dumb. We know they wrote your news when you worked at Fox, because your news gathering is trash. You telling us you don't know nothing about the 13-year-old, the two 14-year-olds. What about the 14-year-old that was in the room with Tiffany? We don't know if his daughter was a different Tiffany, and she was in some little kinky little situation, and she thought it was a game, and then Donald Trump came in and raped her, and then all of a sudden she started whining and crying about it to her friend Tiffany. Tiffany was like, I didn't know it was going to happen like that. I thought it was just a gimmick, blah, blah, blah. And then he tells her to shut up. It's great that he did it instead of a pimply-faced boy. Where that at? The 14. Where is that at in your lexicon? Huh? So now that you know it's 14, are you going to change your mind and say he's a pedophile? That we got two women that said that he was 14 when Donald Trump did something to them, and Epstein did something to them. 13 for that one girl. Yo, I know you probably didn't see me. I'm off to the side and shit. I'm just, man. I'm pissed, y'all. I'm highly pissed.
Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. As for
so what is it? First degree pedophile, second degree pedophile? I mean, if that's what you want, either way it goes, it's still a pedophile. First degree, second degree. But you're trying to say first degree or on 1 degree, or you're a pedophile at 8. You just have a little kink at 15. And this ain't a one-off, y'all. This right here is a situation, not from her. This is a Republican mindset of whenever somebody they like or love gets in trouble, they shift the narrative. They shift the reality. They try to make you believe something different than what you already know. She's out here trying to get Donald Trump out of trouble because she's trying to lower the age to like legal. And you know this. While Donald Trump was running in 2024, the conversation was being had at Turning Point, at these other Heritage Foundation, meetings, at these Proud Boy meetings, at these white nationalist meetings, all that. They are trying to get 13 and 14-year-old people to start working overnight after school, trying to make them adults early, right? They're also trying to get to the fact that if they get raped and get pregnant, they got to keep the baby and possibly marry the rapist instead of getting an abortion. You touch my kid, I ain't got no 14-year-old. But if I did, oh, I'm beating ass. Fuck all that. And they talking about, oh, you know, maybe they can marry each other. This is the Republican Party, yo. And I done told y'all this a many a times, but I don't know how long it's been since I shown you the video. Like I said, this isn't a one-off. This happened, I believe, in May or June. I think it was May. Let me get the exact date because I think I wrote it down. Give me a second. I know I didn't let it close it up. I don't think I closed it up. It's somewhere in here. In May or June of last year, these fools came up with the ideology that somehow, some way, oh, it's right here. May 6th, 2024. This Republican representative in New Hampshire, name is Jess Edwards. This is what this man said in May 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for taking my question. Do you agree with the point of view that if we continually restrict the freedom of marriage as a legitimate social option?
Start back over.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for taking my question. Do you agree with the point of view that if we continually restrict the freedom of marriage as a legitimate social option, when we do this to people who are of ripe fertile age and may have a pregnancy and a baby involved, are we not in fact making abortion a much more desirable alternative when marriage might be the right solution for some freedom-loving couple?
This man is talking about freedom-loving couples. He's talking about pedophiles marrying the people and the young kids that they rape to justify the rape. I'll be the father to the baby. Like the girl wants you around her. And you know what's so trip? They're pedophiles. So when the girl ages out, he ain't gonna want that girl no more. He'll probably end up wanting one of his daughters that he made. And this creep, this Republican creep, didn't get kicked out of office with that damn question. Didn't have his members say, sit your ass down, saying some crazy shit like that. They didn't admonish him. They didn't like, I forgot the exact name when they punished them. They didn't punish them whatsoever. They didn't kick him out of meetings. This dude just said this pedophilic shit and just kept it moving. And nobody on that panel said, sir, that is gross. No, these Republicans saw that shit as he had the right to speak. Next. Nothing against it. Now you can see that was May 2024, May 6th. I talked about it on, Trump Whisper Translate Stupid and Straight Facts. No chaser. I made a video about this a while back when that happened. The insane things these people are saying. The insane things these people are saying. How could this party ever lead again? Why would you put these people as president or vice president of this country making laws when you can't tell this dude to sit his stupid ass down? We don't talk like that here. Go back to like Virginia 1687. That shit ain't happening, Jack. Bye. No. He got to walk out and probably harm a kid that day. They don't hold these people responsible. And for them saying what they're saying is free to speak, but it's also free to whoop that ass if you're talking that shit too. That's just crazy, yo. I don't understand this shit. And I've been saying this for years because when the actor Allen, last name Allen again. I keep on figuring Woody Allen. I can't stand that weirdo. And everybody's like, oh, I like his movies. I'm like, man, how the fuck you watch that shit? I don't care if it is good. How can you watch it knowing that the dude was basically a pedophile? These were kids when he was, oh, come on, man. He's changing these people's diapers. And now he's like having babies with him? I mean, come on, man. You know, if he's thinking about her that as an adult, he's been thinking about her when he was wiping her pants when she was a baby. He's been thinking about it, waiting on it. Predator. Then grooming her. Soon as cheat on his wife with this girl and then leaves her and go, man, how the heck, boy, I wouldn't even want to say this man's name, let alone watch his movies. This country is like, I don't get it. I don't know what the priority is. I really don't. It's like you forget when people do shit bad, you forget it and you just go back to liking people. They can kill somebody and you, after a while, you go back to liking them. I'm like, how the fuck? Where's your moral standard at? Where is this shit going? These people are harming people, fucking people's lives up. How the hell you make somebody like that a president? Not once, twice, and wanted that pedophile 3 times. Birds of a feather flock together. We can all get caught up hanging with somebody we don't know their whole story. But if that is your boy, not somebody you just met and we hanging out, and just met him at the gym, and go a couple drinks, stuff like that, you don't know their world. So you don't know. But when you homies, you know what your homie's into. Because he done thought you was cool enough to tell you what he's doing. I done had it happen to me. I have not with the pedophile stuff, but I had somebody walk up to me and we was playing pool together, just hanging out, being cool and shit like that. He's like, man, you seem like a cool dude. Another brother. I said, I'm cool. He said, here, man. He said, here's $50. I said, $50? Nigga. I said, we just played pool. You lost, but it ain't worth $50, dog. We didn't even bet. We all good. He said, no, I feel it. I said, all right, I feel it. That's $50, man. $50 back. He said, man, that's fake. I said, man, you don't get the fuck away from me. If you don't get the flying fuck away from me, bro. I said, I don't know you like that. And I'm looking around for cops. I'm like, man, you better get the fuck away from me with this shit, dude. I threw that shit on the floor and walked away from him. I'm like, man, don't follow me. Following me will be an instant whoop ass. And he went the other way. Thought I was going to be down with that shit. I know Jeffrey Epstein, if he was the one that started this shit and not Donald Trump, because I can't say it is. He tried to bring it to him. And Donald Trump joined in. It ain't a situation where he backed up off of him. Because if he did, how you friends with him? How you still friends with him? Now, here's the thing. That I was talking about my actual personal story that I had with something like this. And the person, is still mad at me today. Don't like me at all. No way, so no way. And I had young kids at the time. I had a young daughter who had to be around, I would say about 16 years old at the time, somewhere around there. My son was almost 20. And it was in a work environment. But we was on these little cubby holes and doing some work. And this girl and this guy were talking. And we're all in the same type of room. And, I put on my headsets. I'm listening to this movie. And I got my headsets on. They're doing their thing. And they're talking back and forth. And she's talking about a dude that she was in love with when she was younger, blah, 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 blah. So my man goes to lunch. This girl wants to continue talking. And I don't know what all was going on, but I know she said she had some boyfriend when she was younger. I'm like, all right, cool. And she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, when was something like our first date or whatever, shit like that. So I was dating when I was really young and shit like that, just having fun, doing different things. And then she started saying, you don't think nothing's wrong with somebody dating an older person? I said, nah, as long as it's legal, I'm cool, I guess. She said, what's considered legal? I was like, what do you mean? She said, what's considered legal? And I said, well, by law, 18, if you're old enough or stuff like that to do things, but usually you want somebody close to your own age or something. This woman goes on to tell me that her first love and relationship was when she was 16 and the man was like 28 or something like that. I say, where was your mom and dad at? Do you know this chick got pissed off at me? Like, I told her like she was the biggest hoe in the world or some shit. I'm like, I don't know why you mad at me. I'm just saying, if it was my daughter, the boyfriend, whoever would have got his ass beat. Ain't no way in hell that you're 16, he's 28. We're old enough at 16 to know what you want, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted this and that and other, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I ain't got no problems with your whatever kind of mental issues you were going through at 16. She got pissed off about that. What mental issues? I'm like, look, I just don't know in my family, no 16-year-old that wanted to date a grown-ass man. I just don't get it. But that's your world. You did your thing, whatever, and did it work out? Well, we lived together, but it didn't really work out. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Whatever, you do your thing. I said to her, I said, I don't know what your thing was. You know, did your parents sign off that you could date the person or something? They signed something that you could do it? She's like, no. I said, oh, he would have been in jail if you'd been my daughter, he'd been in jail. She's like, what are you talking about? That shit wouldn't have went. He'd been in jail or in hell. One of the two's happening to him. And she's like, oh, no, you just, you just don't understand, blah, blah, blah. And to this day, this grown ass woman who was grown back then, when she was talking to me, she got gray hair now, shit like that. This trick is still mad at me. And I'm like, what did I do to you other than tell you the truth? That your man was a pedophile. He's 28, dating a 16-year-old girl. Your parents didn't even know about it until you were like well off into the relationship. After I guess you were 18. And I'm like, don't come at me like I told you the wrong thing. And I'm like, look, you asked me a question. I was minding my own damn business. I told you the truth of what it is. These are the laws. These are like the moral codes that we have. You choose to break them all you want. That's on you and your family and your moral ethics and all that. But I'm telling you, that's not the social contract that we have with human beings in this country. You guys are on some other tip. And so be it. But this was not like 1876, Laura Ingalls, 1888. We have been well beyond that. And some of you guys break it on you. But we call that shit pedophilia. And like I said, still mad at me to this day. I don't care. I told the straight up truth. I tell you the truth 100%. I ain't got no hate. I ain't got nothing but love for it. But I'm just saying, you were a misguided 16-year-old. And your parents did not put your mind on the right shit. That you was out looking for love at 16 instead of out looking for, hang out with your friends, but out looking for something else. 16-year-olds don't really have this huge value of dating old men. They have a value of, what am I going to do the rest of my life? I'm going to go to college. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm on the cheerleading squad. I'm on a debate team. You out here trying to find a husband and shit at 16? I mean, I don't know about that shit. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what's about. And again, I get it. And it's biased in a sense too, because in the era that I grew up in, I know that guys who were young were dating older people as well. And it's the same thing. It's still a pedophilia. But in this country, it was so much different for men back then. If you were like 17, 18 years old, dating somebody older. And it's wrong. But if you really get down to it, all honesty, the woman was a pedophile. It is what it is. And, you know what I'm saying? And we never thought of it like that. We didn't when we were younger. We was always trying to date older women. And again, it was. But our world didn't protect men like they protected women. And they still didn't protect women worth a damn. But that's how it works. But hey, over 18 and a 10-year difference between the two, I guess, but still weird when they are so young with that. It's just weird to me. I mean, again, when we have laws. There are 16-year-olds. I remember it was a actor or some shit was married to a 16-year-old white dude, but he went and got the mother and father to sign off to do it and asked the dad to marry his daughter. He was an actor. I wouldn't know he was like super rich, but he had money. I'm sure they were poor, white family, maybe a middle class, but I want to say poor. And they were dating and was all over. It was like a reality show or something like that for a while. It's weird, yo. I'm just going to keep it a buck. It's weird. But that's my story with it. The girl is still mad at me today. And all I did was take off my headsets and answer her damn question. I'm like, that's on you. You don't see no issue with it. That's on you. But with Jeffrey Epstein, he was a pedophile. And I don't care what Megyn Kelly says. This trick literally tried to say you got to be 14. At 14 is pedophilia, but at 15, it's what does he say? Barely legal. At 15. 14 pedophilia. Right, Miss Darlene? They're not like us. And it was a white girl, so I can't say that it was that happens in every culture. I'm just saying this was a white girl. Megyn Kelly's a white girl. Maybe there's different rules in white families. I don't know. But in my family, you would catch a huge L. And that L just might be a metal bar shaped like an L. If something like that happened. Right? But it is what it is, y'all. I've been, trying my best to kind of like figure out like how people think in life, dude. But all this shit has happened. I was baffled. Like when I saw that earlier today, my whole day shifted. Not like a negative, like I was mad or angry type of thing. I was just frustrated and like, you said that on camera? I mean, like, that's your real thought process? A grown ass woman literally said that. Don't get it. Don't get it at all. Welcome, Darlene, to Truth Bombers. Appreciate you. I don't get that stuff at all, and I really think that we got to work on. I don't educating our children on what these adults are trying to do. Like I said, that May 6, 2024, in New Hampshire, a Republican is trying to get 13, 14-year-old girls married off instead of having abortions when they get pregnant by the relationships they are in with grown ass men. So these pedophiles are trying to get these little girls pregnant so that they can marry them. Therefore, they don't go to jail. That's my wife. It's sick, yo. And somebody, like I said, Republicans didn't even flinch when this asshole said that. No other state even flinched. And when you hear people talk like Project 2025 and all stuff like that, they're trying to get it to the point at Charlie Kirk organization, at one of their functions, you had people saying, only the husband should be able to vote in the household. Cheering to cheers from the audience filled with white women, white men, and others, but the majority white women and white men screaming. I'm like, women, he just said that he wants you barefoot and pregnant back into the house, and you screaming for it? Women who are educated, y'all better stop listening to these women. Y'all better multiply faster than these women, because they're going to sell y'all ass down the river. Because the way they were screaming at the fact that this guy was literally saying on stage, I don't like the times of women's suffrage. And at the time I was sitting there like, women's suffrage? I'm thinking like women's suffering? Nope. Women's suffrage is about women voting. The women's vote, 1920, 20 or 21, 1920. Let the women's vote. I think it's the 19th Amendment, maybe. Maybe I'm off. But they want to take that away from you. Project 2025 wants to take that away from you. The Loving case, they were trying to take that away from you. Even And the person that says to revisit that was Clarence Thomas in a mixed relationship. I was like, this fool. Man, I don't know what's going on with this world, but I'm telling you, the good people need to unite because these people are just insane. Taking women's rights away. They already took the rights to your own body. And they literally said out loud, your body, my choice. I'm like, ooh, that is evil. I don't know, but I'm gonna guess this real quick. I don't know. I can't speak for white women. I'm gonna put this out there. I know I'm probably gonna get flack for it, but fuck y'all. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you straight up truth. If I was a white woman, I can't speak for you, and a white man or white men, a certain section of those white men are trying their damnedest to take my rights away from my body, I ain't voting alongside those fools. I ain't clapping. We at war, bitch, until I win, because there's no way in hell. If I was a woman, I promise you, if I was a woman, right now, there would be a bill written that any man that touches a woman sexually or has sex with a woman sexually and rapes her and has been proven that he rapes her, we cut his shit off. There is no way in hell I wouldn't have that bill out there. I've been tried to pass it at least 75 times already. There is no, as a white woman, no. You ain't gonna come and mess with my personal parts and me not come back at yours. Ain't no way in hell. I'd be out there fighting for it. I wouldn't be sitting there voting alongside the dude that's trying to take me back to caveman days. How the hell is that? They out in the open talking about raping your 13, 14-year-old kids, calling them ripe and fertile. Who talks about human beings or women as ripe and fertile? What are you, a fruit? I mean, come on, man. You know what, Danielle Bailey? No, he that dude from the white black supremacists. What's his name? White Bear. That's who he is. That's who he is. Dave Chappelle and Dave Chappelle show. Dave, that's who he is, big time. It just, if I was a woman, I would literally be that. That would be me. There's no way in hell I'd be voting aside. We look alike, but bro, you ain't got my best interest at heart whatsoever. I mean, I ain't seen nothing written that's trying to help out white women by these white men. It's trying to fuck your life up, keep you pregnant. If you have babies, I'll give you $5,000. Say what? What you trying to do? You trying to buy my uterus? What? Man, get the fuck away from me. That's creepy as shit. They literally trying to pass that. Just the idea of somebody coming up to you and say, you know what? Can I borrow your uterus for $5,000? Say what? Why? What the hell are you talking about? Loan it out? You know what kind of market that's going to open up? Huh? Do you understand how many poor kids are out there, young girls, that's going to sit there and be like, we broke, mom, we ain't got no food. What are we going to do? Well, we can sell your uterus. Do you understand the dark market that's going to pop up if y'all allow that shit? Stand up for yourselves or you're going to get knocked the fuck out, because there's no way in hell. That may sound good and dandy. No, the black market's going to fuck your kids up. You're going to be like, oh, my daughter's going to college. No, she ain't. She already pregnant because she got $5,000 in the pocket now. You'd be like, what? When did that happen? Oh, we just went and got pregnant over here at the club over there, that little spot. I forgot what it's called. It's called whatever it's called. Get pregnant for $5,000. You'd be like, nobody told you to do that. You know, you ain't got no money. Your poor kids are going to end up getting pregnant by any and everything just so they can get $5,000. They want to turn you into human factories. Fuck all that. Pay attention. Look further ahead than just the money. They got people, they know how they can get you. They know you broke. Here's $5,000 if you do what I ask. Some of these people are going to do it. They don't see down the line. 5 years after this thing starts, there's going to be I'm giving it a long time. 5 years. It may happen in 5 days, but 5 years, they already got in their mind the black market of this. You know how many kids will do it? Oh, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. Elon Musk will have a harem. He'll give all of them $1 million to have 3 or 4 babies a month. You don't want to put that shit on the market. You don't want to put uterus on the market. You just don't. You don't want to do it. And trust me, these evil bastards want it. They're already talking about it May 6th, 2024. And they've been talking about it. Project 2025. Heritage Foundation. They need to build more white people because the majority of them, you was at 80% in the 60s. You're down to like 58%, close to 60s here in 2025. Their estimation by 2045, somewhere in there, 2052, that the number of being 58 is going to be down to the minority. They're going to be more Latin people, they believe, they thought, more Latin people in America, percentage-wise, than white. So that was the fear. That's why they fucking with these Latin people. Pay attention to the studies. There's a reason why people do shit. Specifically white people in this country that are rich. There's a reason why these things happen. Don't think they just happen on a whim. No, these people do studies. They spend millions of dollars to find out that we lose the majority. People are going to treat us like shit. We got to keep the majority. So kick out people of color and pay white people to have babies. Just want you to know that. Don't trust me? Go look it up. The only culture that I know in this country that does studies for millions of dollars to find out when their culture is going to become the minority. They're so fucking scared of that. And we're like, we don't care about this shit. Fuck minority, majority. Let's just all get along. We don't give a fuck about that majority, minority shit. Let's put our best at their job and let's move it on. You know what I'm saying? But that's just not how they want it to work. But anyway, I appreciate y'all all being here. Y'all gonna have a great weekend, I hope. Looking forward to that. I'm gonna be doing my show and music pretty soon. It's like 8:04 now. Probably do it around 8:30. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. Appreciate new members. My old members, much love to y'all. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say my current members. I don't like calling people old. It's a thing with me. I'll say seasoned if I say old because I like seasoning. And then we kind of spicy human beings anyway when we get older or we get more seasoned. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Y'all already know about Avid Solutionist. That's the thing right there. Avid Solutionist. You can barely see what the fuck it says. Every problem deserves a solution. We're gonna be doing that coming up beginning of the year. That's the logo. I'm getting gear, all the stuff like that. I'm having fun with it. Getting amped up to do some of the things that I'm doing to solve problems. Specifically problems that we, the people, need. Not just me, we need. Systems that we need designed. I was talking to somebody today about the healthcare system and how I have solutions for that we don't need the government for it. We can do it as a people as long as we can connect with people. I went and spoke to a few doctors, my own personal doctor who gave me a request to other doctors to find out how the healthcare system actually works. Most of us don't know. I'm still finding out. There's so much in the dark. But I believe that the people can be able to get their own health care and don't have to worry about healthcare companies. My focus is to go directly to doctors. One of the things that I realized when I did do some research on the healthcare system depends on the individual system. Like Kaiser, for instance. Kaiser's system is like one unit, right? It's one whole unit, meaning that they have the doctors, they have the nurses, they have the hospital, they have the equipment. It's one whole system. Then you have something like Blue Shield or whatever type of insurance. They're just an insurance company. They don't have the hospitals. They have to get hospitals to be a part of their system. They have to get doctors to join into their program. And so they create a whole system around, we found hospital, we found the equipment area that they have all the equipment. We're going to pay them a fee, and we're going to pay the doctors a fee, and then we're going to charge the people that have health care. They can pick between these doctors. But my brain was like, they rob us often. And if you really go speak to your doctor, if you have a good doctor, I sat down with my doctor. I was supposed to be talking about things that was going on with me. I told him some things, and we working on that. But he sat down graciously and spoke to me like an hour beyond that. And one of my questions I asked to him is like, couldn't the patients create their own group and go directly to certain doctors? And those patients are paying a monthly fee to the doctor, like the doctors being on retainer, so to speak. So if you got a group of people already paying you directly, you don't have to go through a third or fourth source. You know what I'm saying? And what can we do to kind of create those types of opportunities that if we can do something like that and work with doctors and nurses and equipment and things like that in hospitals, can we do something like that without having to pay an extraordinary amount of money? Just have a lot of people onto one system and maybe even make it local or statewide. And I'm in California, so if I do something like this, it's going to start in California first. And speaking to doctors and so forth, one of the things is also is kind of effed up is that a lot of doctors don't get hired. But if we got rid of the middleman, meaning the certain institutions that are in between, insurance company, we can go directly to the doctors. And if that was the case, being able to have a certain tax or whatever we have for ourselves, not for the government, to be able to pay for the hospital and the different things. If a million people are paying $10 a month, just like you're paying for Netflix, and you can be able to go to your neighborhood doctor and they have equipment. I want you to understand something. People don't understand how easy $10 can just solve a lot of shit for people, right? Like Netflix makes billions of dollars a month because they got a lot of people, like 60, 70 million people in some situations. Some people have like 30 million, depends on the service. But they're paying $9.99 a month. And with that $9.99 a month, they're pulling in billions of dollars. Now, they got investors, they got to pay off and shit like that. But if the people are working so that we pay off the people, and we're not trying to make it a huge profit-based thing, we're trying to make it a sustainable thing so that we can go to our doctor and not have to pay. Just have our monthly payment. Unless it's an operation or something like that, then that's a whole other process. Then Americans, we can start taking over our healthcare and say, fuck you to the government. I'm all about that. Fuck the government. If I'm putting my money into you and you find it hard to help me, fuck you. I can figure it out myself. Because we all need the same thing. As we get up in the age, there's certain things going to happen to it. Our health is going to get bad. Not worse, but going to get bad. And we need to figure out solutions. Can't just let it just happen. So those are the things that we'll be working on. Good night, Nina. Latinos will be the majority. We're all be speaking Spanish soon enough. Is fate, the evolution of society. The first shall be the last shall be the first. That's biblical. Yeah, I mean, whatever happens. I'm going to choke myself to death. I'm going to get out of here, but good night, Dennis. You guys have a great evening. I'm going to do my show here pretty soon. But keep in mind, I'm always thinking, Avid Solutionist. Go follow me, Avid Solutionist, on TikTok for right now. My YouTube channel still being built. Website's being built. Gear's being bought, developed, all that. And the YouTube channel, it'll be coming up here hopefully beginning of the year. I'm recording an episode in the next week or two just to try out. It's not going to necessarily be released. But I just want to get it right for everybody so that we have, solutions and build this whole thing up of helping each other out. It's a we thing and not a me thing, and I love that. So if we can help each other out, we don't have to worry about anybody else. And we create opportunities, economic opportunities, all other types of opportunities to be able to help people. And it's just a beautiful world that I envision. All right. You guys have a great night. Y'all be safe. I'm out to send TikTok notification. All right. Take care, DJ. I'm about to go over there here in about 20 minutes. I get something to eat. You guys have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Much love to you. I'll see you when I see you. Take care.